Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to a 2025 season. Just want to let you guys know, super excited here to be leading the defense here at South Carolina again. And our goals are still the same. Obviously, we want to go farther than what we went last year as a football team. Truly believe that this team is built with some young guys and a lot of experience, and we're excited to get it going. Any questions?
How's it going, Clayton? Less than 2 weeks ago for the first game, would you say your defense is set as in terms of these are guys that are going to start and these are guys that will probably be second string?
Yes, we always keep the competition open up to the last minute. We have some positions where we're still trying to battle some things out, but for the most part, we feel really good at where guys are. Guys, come back off a little knickknacks, injuries here and there, but I think we're all set, excited.
What's the most impressive thing you've seen from just Fred Johnson stepping into obviously a bigger role? Is there anything on the field, something he's said in a meeting room or how he's answered a question, anything like that really jumps out from these last couple weeks?
Nothing major. I mean, Fred's one of those guys who is very consistent in regards to how he carries himself every single day. I think the most important thing is that he's getting more vocal. He's having a little bit more fun. I heard him today yelling, joking with Coach Beamer during a period today. That's the first time I've heard that. So those are things that I'm really impressed with him about. He's starting to come out of his shell. We do believe that he has the talent to go a long way in this game. Just want to keep him humble and just make sure he's learning every single day. And I think he does a great job in the linebacker meetings and the defensive meetings, just growing every single day. And I think the guys around him understand what he can bring, and they're always willing to help.
With a lot of guys kind of growing into new roles in that interior defensive line, who's kind of stood out to you so far in camp as somebody who's you expect to fill in some of those spots?
Yes, obviously all of them, because we lost everybody, so that's not a surprise. But I think guys like Monkel Goodwine has really stepped up his game, and just day-to-day and consistency. The same thing with Goodwine, with Dindy. I love his power, his strength. He's one of our, best guys in the weight room. He's starting to bring that stuff to the field. Sometimes guys who have that makeup like him can't bring it to the field. I think he's doing a great job of just taking the coaching from Coach Robinson first and foremost and Coach Dove, of just bringing it to the field. Then you also have the old school guy, Nick Barrett, doing a great job of making plays and just being more of a playmaker than a plug.
Coming off a season where you ranked top 10 nationally in sacks, how do you carry that into 2025, especially with the injuries in the edge room?
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunate things have happened in the edge room where our guys have, it's been some very freak injuries. Nothing combative, but just a lot of stuff that happens. But as far as trying to make sure our guys, we still have Dylan, we still have BT, we still have guys that are really good players. But obviously, losing the depth is gonna, it hurts you down the line in regards of practice and stuff like that. But trying to replace that stuff from last year, it's a brand new year, so we're trying to make sure that everyone's involved. It's not just the edge room that gets sacks. It's obviously the D tackles, linebackers, DBs.
How would you evaluate how everything's gone down with that safety position battle with Peyton Williams, David Busey, and those guys?
Yes, it's going very well. Obviously, those guys they all bring something different to the table in regards of how they play. But I think they've done a really good job of just really competing and helping each other and not really making it a personal battle. They understand, the best guy goes out there to give us the best chance to win. But I do think they've all earned time to showcase their skills.
Hey, Clayton, besides the obvious fact of what you guys lost last year, what in your mind could you say you feel like is going to be the biggest difference about your defense going into this year?
Well, it's hard to tell. Obviously watching us in scrimmages, watching us play, feel like a very strong defense as far as just our size. We're a lot bigger as far as if you just go pound for pound what we weighed last year and how strong we were in the weight room. So that's kind of the feeling that I have right now. But hopefully we're still the flying around defense, making plays, opportunistic, getting the ball back to our quarterback, giving them multiple opportunities to go score points. That's really our ultimate goal, and keep points off the board.
Alongside Fred, what roles are J.O. and Sean Murphy going to have in your linebacking room?
Those guys kind of bring the maturity to that room, which I really love. They're super smart football players and smart individuals and grown, mature men, which I like, which I love. So, and I think that's what they're really going to bring. I do think they got playmaking ability. They understand the game. They're good teammates. They also understand the big picture of football on defense and offensive stuff. So whenever you start adding all that stuff together, you have a chance to be solid. And I think they just got to make sure they just give their energy to the rest of the defense. But they're doing a good job right now. Proud of where they are.
Hey, Coach. we've gone through spring and we're going through fall. What sort of excites you the most about this defensive unit as a whole, and what are people going to learn about the 2025 Gamecock defense?
Yes, it's one of those things. As we're going, you'll know more of those things as the season goes. Every year is completely different. It's obviously not going to be identical. I mean, obviously it just can't be, but it can be better. It can also have its own flavor. So that's kind of what we're looking forward to, just to see kind of defense we are. We know the type of people we have. We know the players that we have. I think it's going to be one of those physical defenses. We got a lot of cover guys, so a lot of versatility within our defense, things that we can do with Jalen Kilgore, Brandon Cisse, Bakari Swain, and DQ Smith. So like multiple things that we can do. We still have Dylan Stewart, so that really helps. And we have Brian Thomas, those guys coming off the edge, and Desmond and JT, veteran guys. So that makes it fun.
With Peyton Williams, how would you describe what he can bring to that safety spot? And the same thing with Brandon Cisse. What kind of stands out about him?
Peyton Williams is a guy who's been around here for a while. Smart football player from Texas who probably, played more football than anybody when it comes to just Texas high school football. You can tell that he's a veteran guy who kind of understands big picture football. He's kind of like a coach on the field. Can be more vocal at times, but I think that's going to grow with time, more experience on the field. Brandon Cisse is a guy who can play inside and outside at the corner and the nickel hole. So that's always hard to find. Kind of remind me a little bit of what Cam Smith did for us in those years that he was here. So that's fun to have, and that really helps us out a ton.
Clayton, you mentioned some of the injuries in the edge rusher room. Does that speed up the development for guys like Quay and Addison who are freshmen?
It absolutely does. Those guys, obviously, I think they both are going to have some type of role this year anyway. Obviously, we all know the more the better, especially in this league. You want to have the most guys possible to keep guys fresh in the month of November and October. It gets hard in October, too, here in the SEC. But obviously, it speeds up their development, and I think that those guys are over time they'll definitely improve and continue to get more reps at practice.
I know the second scrimmage was a couple of days ago now, but what did you see from your unit in those two scrimmages that you liked, and then what do you feel like maybe needs to be fine-tuned before the first game gets here?
Yes, fine-tune our operation mode. Just make sure we're getting on and off the field on time when we're subbing groups. There was a couple big plays that kind of popped out in certain groups, but we got to do a better job of play entry and those kind of things, taking great angles to the football, making sure we're getting closer and closer to the game. Don't get lazy on the small things. I think we had a couple of turnovers, which was good in that scrimmage to see our guys fly around, and I love the energy that they had. I think just continue harping on the small things and the day-to-day and the conditioning. You can never really condition yourself for a game at practice, so I think that's the main thing.
Sticking with those turnovers in the second scrimmage, obviously Jared Kilgore had a impressive interception. What have you seen from him this fall?
Yeah, they always leaking stuff out, man. They're supposed to stay out. We don't want to show that athleticism all the time, but I want to keep it, kind of surprise other teams. But that was a great play. What I love about Kilgore is that, to me, I always have a lot of respect for football players who put in the work, and you can see the improvement right in front of your eyes. I think that's what I've seen from him, just the focus, just the day-to-day details. And I can always tell by when a player comes to me to ask me a question, I can tell where they are in our system based on the level of the question. So his questions are starting to get more 300-level questions, not 100-level questions anymore. So I think that's fun. He asked me a question. That's a really good question, brother. So, and then I can able kind of dive into the defense, some more details. But that's the part that I like about him right now. He has the athleticism just like his brother. But to see him dig more into the details of our system is really fun.
You were mentioning Cisse. So based on what play you call, could he move from corner to nickel?
Nah.
Okay.
That's not how it works.
Okay. So can you explain what you were talking about then? Because, what do you mean? Sorry.
So one, we have multiple guys that can play corner. So if Kilgore needs a break, Brandon Cisse can play the nickel spot and play our regular defense. So, but yeah, that's what I mean.
With the safeties in that room, what have you seen out of DQ kind of being the leader of that room now that Nick's gone?
Mm-hmm. The good thing about DQ is that he's really been a leader since he has leadership qualities from day one that he's been here. He's a high school quarterback, so he's always expressed that. So, but now he is the voice. Like, he is the muscle back there. He is the one who's been around the most. So guys are going to look to him for calls and checks. But there's something he's really used to. He just had to, 2 years ago, last year, he had to kind of be the second and third voice, but now he's the first voice, which I think is cool. Like I said, y'all heard me before. He's one of my favorite football players of all time. So teacher's pet type stuff. So he really can't do any wrong with me.
Can any of those freshman linebackers get anywhere close to that? Can't do anything wrong yet, or are they still?
Nah, they got a long way to go. Nowhere near teacher's pet. No, they're good kids though. This the most fun I've had with the group. I mean, those guys are characters. So that's been. I've definitely dropped a couple years in age dealing with those guys, but they're fun and they're gonna be good. But.
How much have you seen them come along these last few weeks? So just.
It's been good. Watch them just understand. They didn't think they can learn this much football. They didn't think. Probably in high school they might have had 2 or 3 calls that they had to remember seriously, and probably 2 or 3 details within that call. Here, I don't want to give out the number of calls they have to remember, but it's definitely above 50. You know what I mean? So, and they didn't think they can do that. I can just tell by the day one they didn't think they can learn offenses. They didn't think they can learn multiple things in a system. So that's been fun for me as a football coach or their position coach to watch them. Just elevate that part in their game.
Gerald Kilgore yesterday told us that Brandon Cisse earned the nickname Glitch for his speed. I don't know if you've heard of that, but you talked about his versatility, but what does his speed and athleticism do for his impact in the DB room?
Yes, I think one quality in the defensive back room is speed, burst, and change of direction, and he has all 3 of those. And then you have the football IQ to go with it, and then the want to do all those things and have no setback in your game. That's not many teams have that. I mean, we only had it a couple of times here to have that kind of player, but it means a lot to be able to do that. So it just helps us at the end of games. It helps us if someone goes down, if a team has a dynamic slot, if we want to put Kilgore other places. So it's fun. It makes it fun for a coordinator and position coach as well. So just got to keep it up. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for letting me go first. Thanks.